good. This is good. A good start already. Just play the fucking music. The bagpipes, laddie! The bagpipes! Oh, God. There we go already. And yes, I did do the fucking makeup. I'm wearing a fucking Scotland t-shirt because it sums up the movie we're talking about today. Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here, and welcome to another opening night. And today's a special one, because this is a movie I've been kind of anticipating for a while. And ever since I saw the trailer last year. But yeah, we're here to talk about a film called Outlaw King, which is a film that came out, actually at the Toronto International Film Festival. I was gonna go. I was invited to the premiere, but I didn't go. But, it premiered on Netflix, and so you're all probably wondering, what the hell is Outlaw King starring Chris Pine? It's BRAVEHEART 2! That's the best way I can say it! It's fucking BRAVEHEART 2! Oh my god! And I'm gonna come out and say this, guys. This movie's actually pretty good. I mean, it's a low-budget film, but, okay, well, full disclosure, guys, as you guys can tell, sword, shirt, makeup, I fucking love Braveheart. Braveheart is one of my favorite, historical films, even though I know nowadays, with everybody ripping it apart, of how historically inaccurate it is, but I don't care, I fucking love it. It is an epic film, by all accounts. I feel like without that, we wouldn't have gotten the Lord of the Rings and those big, swooping, epic battles. We all have to thank Braveheart for that. Mel Gibson's hit or miss for me. Like, I know he has his weird fucking messed up issues, especially with his, like, religious films, but Braveheart, I think, is probably his magnum opus. It's the best film that he ever came up with, but, it's an epic film. If you guys have not seen Braveheart, as much as it's historically inaccurate, go watch it. You are in for a fun ride for a good 3 hours, filled with epic battles. It's basically the story of William Wallace, the great hero of Scotland, who fights the First War of Independence against England, against Edward Longshanks in the first film. And, of course, he loses, apparently. Spoiler alert. He gets tortured, and, you know, they take out his intestines, and he just shouts at the end, "Freedom!" And just, it's great. Mel Gibson's great. You know what it is? It's like, because the whole thing with William Wallace is that he's the Robin Hood of Scotland, and I mean that because, like, not only does William Wallace, in terms of history, take place nearly 100 years after Robin Hood, whereas Robin Hood was in 1190 and Braveheart was in 1280, they're 100 years apart, but they had the same ideology of freedom and independence from the governing systems. But bottom line, Braveheart is great, guys. Go fucking watch it. Now, funny enough, I was on a YouTube comment section, the worst place to be, and, I was watching the ending to the first Braveheart, where Robert the Bruce, decides, let's just give up and surrender our powers to England, and he turns around to the rest of Wallace's gang, and he's like, "You have bled with Wallace! Now bleed with me!" And the fucking, like, Little John bearded motherfucker throws the stars, like, ah! And it just, like, lands in that perfect shot, which is awesome. But it's great. So, I was watching the ending to that on YouTube, and I put in the comments saying, literally, to be continued in Braveheart 2. Because I always felt like, you know what? Enough time has gone past where I think they could have done a sequel. I mean, like, here's the thing, like, right now, Mel Gibson is doing a sequel to The Passion of the Christ. You know what, Mel? Save your money, or actually, no, take that money and make Braveheart 2. Because that's what I said. I'm like, he should take that money from Passion 2 and make it into Braveheart 2, because I think a sequel to the first one would be good, and have Robert the Bruce take on the mantle of the Braveheart. You know, he can take on the mantle and continue Wallace's battles, right? And continue his mission for freedom, and it's all great. So, I was saying that maybe about 2-3 years ago, I wanted a Braveheart 2, and a lot of people agreed with me. It was like really positive comment. People were like, yeah, dude, I want one too. So, unfortunately, Mel Gibson is not back for the sequel, and we did kind of get one with 2018's Outlaw King. It would premiere on Netflix and everything. Now, I keep saying this is Braveheart 2, when in reality, it's an unofficial sequel. I mean, it has no relationship to the Paramount film. It's not produced by Paramount. It's not produced by Alan Ladd Jr. Or is he still alive? I can't remember. It doesn't have Mel Gibson. It doesn't have any of the original cast members from the first film. It is a totally new cast, totally new direction. Bit of a lower budget, I felt, than the first one. But, yeah, it's a continuation. It's about Robert the Bruce, played by Captain Kirk, Chris Pine, who, is now basically, it kind of takes liberties from the first film. I mean, if you try to watch this film at, like, the first, like, Braveheart and Outlaw King kind of back-to-back, it's gonna be a little confusing, because some characters who died are still alive in this film, but it starts right off the bat where Robert the Bruce is, you know, basically, I think he's being declared king. I can't remember off the top of my head. I watched it a few days ago. But, he's being declared king, and, of course, right at the time he's gonna lead his people, the English bring in fucking Wallace's body just to fuck with the fucking Scotland, because they do explain in the first film that they took his limbs and put them all over the borders of England as to send a message as an example to anybody who rebels against the King of England. So, they show that in this movie. Now, in this one, it's not Mel Gibson's corpse, unfortunately. It's, a bearded guy, so it's more accurate to the real Scottish hero of Wallace. Now I will put this in mind too. I respect my Scottish history. There is a part of my family that does come from Scotland. We are part of the Buchanan clan in Scotland, so we were part of the Buchanan castle and everything, so I respect my heritage like a motherfucker. But I've always wanted to visit Scotland too. It sounds like a great place. My parents have been there and everything. So, they bring out fucking Wallace's body just to fuck with them, and that gets Robert pissed. And he decides, well, fuck it. I'm gonna start this rebellion. I'm gonna continue Wallace's battle. And what I really like about this movie is that I do like how it is sort of a sequel, because they keep referencing Wallace, saying, oh, have you heard of William Wallace? He's like, oh, he's an outlaw, he's a barbarian, he's like, the blood. It's like, and like, fucking Robert the Bruce is like, I think he's just a nice guy trying to lead his people. Oh, but he's great. Like, it's like, I love how they mention it. So you can kind of see this as a sequel. So Robert's now fighting Wallace's battle. King Longshanks, yeah, he's alive in this version. And his son, now start to invade Scotland even more, and they claim Robert's land, they take his wife and child, and Robert basically is now on a huge mission to obviously save his daughter and wife, as well as basically kick England's ass, you know, like the classic freedom of Scotland, and, yeah, it's great, and, so my thoughts on the film. It's, as an unofficial sequel, as basically the Jaws 5 Cruel Jaws of Braveheart movies, as a Braveheart sequel. Oh, I'll tell you this, I like this more than fucking Jaws 5. Oh, I love this more than Cruel Jaws. No, this movie's really fucking good. I can see why they put it on Netflix, because it was essentially, it looked kind of like a TV movie in a sense. It looked like a Netflix movie. I can't remember what studio distributed it, but I heard it was supposed to come to theaters, but I guess, like, theaters were like, we don't want to show this, so they just, like, slapped it on Netflix. It's the same thing with, Andy Serkis's Mowgli movie, which, by the way, I do want to talk about that. I may do that for the next opening night, is do a review of the Mowgli movie, because I've heard really good things. Might even have Evan on that, I don't know. But yeah, Outlaw King. So, it's a good movie. It's a good movie, not only on its own, but if you take it as a sequel to Braveheart, it's pretty positive. It's, Chris Pine's really good as Robert the Bruce, although I wish they had brought back the original actor, and this just takes place like 20, 30 years later. I think it would have been good. I mean, there you go, Paramount. I just gave you an idea. But, Chris Pine's great in the film. He plays the role pretty damn well. And he's pretty good as, you know, like, we know him as an action hero and everything. I know he was in, what's that movie? Into the Woods, some Prince dude. And I know he's played, like, medieval stuff before, so he's pretty good at it. I didn't see Into the Woods. Actually, me and Brad sat through the first 5 minutes in theaters, and we looked at each other like, this sucks, let's go. And we got our money back, which is good. But, oh, fuck Into the Woods. Terrible movie. So, yeah, like, Chris Pine's great in it. The rest of the cast, like, I can't remember half the cast in this movie, but they were pretty solid. Like, everybody was great in this movie. But yeah, so a lot of the pros, action sequences are great. And also, I don't know how you were able to up the gore from the first Braveheart film, because you gotta remember, the first Braveheart film it's a brutal movie. Like, there's people's heads getting cut off, there's people getting, like, swords up their dicks, up their ass. There's arrows flying. They show their asses at England, and then one guy gets an arrow to the fucking ass. Surprised that didn't become the arrow to the knee meme. But there's a lot of violence in the first film. This one ups the gore like Jesus fucking Christ. Because, like, here you got, like, there's a scene where, like, the Prince of England, comes to one of, Robert the Bruce's allied castles, and his wife, and Robert's wife and kid is there. So they invade the castle, and they try to interrogate the guy running it, who I think is Robert's brother. But the prince ain't having it. He's like, well, you're lying to me, so I'm gonna make an example out of you. He hangs the motherfucker on the front of the gates of the castle, and then takes a knife, and as he's hanging, guts his fucking intestines out and just spills it out. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, I don't remember this much violence in the first Braveheart. Oh my god, like, the kills are just brutal. Like, there's blood spraying everywhere. There's, like, horses getting sliced and everything. It's a brutal fucking film. Like, I'm not gonna lie. If you, like, I know this is Netflix, but don't let your kids watch this. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, it makes the first Braveheart look like goddamn Care Bears. Oh my god, they really up the gore in this one. So props to the squib department and all those guys who do all that shit, because it's some pretty brutal shit. But yeah, so, there's a lot of that in the film. But again, action sequences are great. Oh, I absolutely love the final battle at the end. Okay, full disclosure, the first Braveheart film had pretty big battles, like, because of those big scope battles that we've never seen on that scale before, thanks to Braveheart. In fact, if you guys know a shot in a film where two armies in a big wide shot, like say my hands are an army, they're about to charge into each other like this, that was really started with Braveheart, and everybody now, a lot of people in Hollywood, they call that the Braveheart shot. So whenever you do a shot like that, it's like, there's your Braveheart shot, as I always put it, whenever I'm shooting stuff. So, anyway, so, yeah, Braveheart had these big epic battles, two massive ones, the Battle of, Stirling, and then the Battle of the other place where fucking Robert the Bruce betrayed Wallace. So this film has some solid epic battles, the whole scene in the river's great. I even enjoy, like, again, the final battle's fantastic. Like, it's just muddy, it's bloody, it's brutal. You just see people getting cut left and right. You got fucking Robert kicking so much ass in this movie. And there's one part that actually had me laughing my ass off, because, spoilers here. So, at the end of the battle, the English, flee like the French. Run away! Run, retreat! We're outmatched! And you got, like, this uber Darth Maul bald motherfucker, which I don't know what happened to him. He kind of just disappeared at the end of the movie. But the prince is just, like, really pissed off because he's trying to, he's fighting with his men. All his men are fucking retreating. He's like, you cowards! Come back here and fight! And, all the Scottish are, like, driving them back. And so the prince comes across fucking Robert and says, Robert, come on, let's go, bro. Let's go, bro. Come on, just like in the beginning of the movie when we fought. Let's go, bro. Like, it's kind of irony there. But what's funny is, like, as Robert is fighting the prince, this should be the big final battle climax of the movie. You got all of Robert's fucking men just going the other way, trying to drive the fucking English back. It's like, guys, you won! Where are you going? The final battle, don't you want to see your leader, your king, fucking take out the prince? Oh my god, like, but everybody's just paying attention over here. It's like, guys, the final showdown is right fucking here! Oh my god, like, what are you doing? Like, you're not even gonna support your man here? Jesus Christ! But no, like, the final battle's great. The prince goes out like a little bitch, which is fucking hilarious. Like, he runs away like a little crybaby, like, no. Like, he literally, like, I swear to God, if he had run out, I was so hoping for him to go, Mommy! Like, fucking Prince John and Disney's Robin Hood, just like, it's like, Mommy! I got the dirty thumb. Oh, but yeah, like, the final battle's great. It's a good movie. Really solid. My only cons with the film, I'll get to this quickly. I felt like, again, as a unofficial sequel to Braveheart, you can see where they had to take liberties so they wouldn't copyright on the first film, because, again, this wasn't Paramount. But some of the inaccuracy to the first film, I mean, I guess it's more accurate to history, but I wish they could have stuck more. This is one of those things where it's like, it's a good movie. But I think if Mel Gibson was attached to it, it would have been so much better, in my opinion. So that's one of the cons. The second con, it kind of ends abruptly. Essentially, it does end abruptly, in terms of just like, oh, we just got, like, you have the whole final battle, and during that time, you know, Robert's, wife and child are kidnapped, right? But in that time, you have the whole final battle, and then it just kind of ends with the epilogue saying, oh, Robert defeated all the English, and, you know, the king died here, and then, at the very end, it's like, oh, and Robert got his wife back. Because apparently, like, the nobles of England pretty much killed the king and said, yeah, dude, you can have your wife back. Like, literally, they pretty much explained that the nobles killed the whole royal family, the king, queen, started fresh, and then went up to Robert and said, we're sorry. Here's your wife and kid. We are so sorry. Our leader was a dick. It kind of just implies that in text. I'm like, I would have liked to seen that. Like, I think, like, if this movie was an extra half hour of just wrapping everything up, I would have been okay with it. So I think there should have been at least another half hour in this film. There was one other con, I can't remember what it was. But, can't really think off the top of my head. But that's really about it. Like, I mean, like, I guess overall, like, guys, yeah, go definitely check this out on Netflix. It's a good film on its own, and if you watch it back to back with Braveheart, you're in for a pleasant surprise to see that this is an unofficial sequel to the first film, and I fucking loved it for that. So I'm gonna give this film probably a good 7 or 8 out of 10. It does have its problems. It is a lot shorter than the first film. Like, the first film was 3 hours. This one's only a good 2. So, it's a good 2 hours to sit through. That's one of the things. I wish it was, like, a little longer. So, yeah, and it does feel lower budget than the first film. It is more historically accurate, which I don't mind, but, I mean, yeah, it's basically Braveheart 2. Go check it out. 7.8 out of 10 I'd give it. I overall enjoyed this film. I overall enjoyed the sequel. So yeah, guys, that's it for my review of Outlaw King, aka Braveheart 2. If you guys have seen it, let me know in the comments section what you thought of it. And join me next time, and I think I'll probably take a look at, Andy Serkis's Mowgli. And if you guys have any opening nights or movies you want us to take a look at in this particular format, link down below to our Patreon page. You can support us there. If you donate like $5 or something a month, you'll get to request a movie for us to review on opening night, and we'll talk about it. So, yeah, that's about it, guys. So, I guess, you know, go see the movie. Enjoy yourself. It's a fun film. And, until the next video... Oh, fuck, I can't... Okay, I was gonna end this, basically, with the, Braveheart, Freedom bit, but apparently my internet's not working. So, until the next video, guys, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off, shouting...